So, students, here we are discussing about the measurement of distance and about motions. I have given a brief introduction about the measurement, why the measurement is required, and what are the different significance of this measurement in and the subject like science. And this is the basic chapters by which you get the some basic understanding about the related things why the measurement is required on the measurement, what are the different units, how these measurements are take place, what is the standard unit, these things which we are here discussing. Now the topic today I will just go through the highlighters. Now this measurement as already told, any kind which is very assignment of a number. When we assign gives assignment to in terms of number, that provide the some measurement, and that measurement is basically one kind of the information by which we can get the other information on the related object. Now these we are talking about the why the measurements is important, and the when we talk about when we want to observe the measure the length of a table or a soccer field, or how far is Mumbai from Delhi, and that things which if we want to measure, then there should be a specific parameter by which we can observe these kind of the things, and that specific parameter is to measure. Now this measure is measured in unit. If it is a unit, that means by there are some kind things which is known, and with that known things, if we understand get the information of unknown quantity, then that is called the unit. That means a unit is a comparison of an unknown quantity. There is an unknown quantity which we want to measure, and there is a known quantity like meter, centimeter, all these things are known quantity. When we wants to measure with that quantity, known quantity to unknown quantity, and that kind of the things is basically known as unit. That unit is here, it is written already very clearly that this is the comparison. When we compare the kind of the things, what we are basically compare, we are comparing the two things, that is known, that is unknown quantity, and another things which is known, that is the kilometer, meter, these are the some kind of the quantities are known. Now when we want to compare with unknown quantity with that of known quantity, and then that kind of the comparison is known as basically a unit, and it is required to establish why these things are required, and it is required to establish a common standard so that everybody can understand. Not for me, not for you, it is everybody have to give some kind of take by seeing by that kind of the quantity. They visualize some kind of the values, they visualize some kind of the specific things that are of the that this information is we get from only the unit, and this is acceptable. These things should be acceptable by worldwide. And when we talk about what are the in the previous in ancient time, or the before 50 60 70 years back, when these instruments are not available, how the lengths are measured, how the distance are measured, what are the parameters. On the basis of these parameters, basically the length or distance are measured. So there is a different ways to measure the land, different ways to measure the your desk, or different kind of the length. Now, one of these is to measure the length is to use the peoples are using before that is their food, and other part of the body like hand span or the cubit. This kind of the things are used to measure the length of any kind of the object. Now, since these foot, cubit, or the hand span, these kind of the things are basically not a uniform, because every person they have a different structure, and because of that different structures, their foot, their finger size, their hand size are different. That's why this process is not the proper way to measure the any kind of length. Now, to understand, and again we are here to talk about the unit, as already discussed in previous slide, that is the which provide the standard use for the measurement. And measurement is basically just giving an any kind of the things which gives the information on a numeral basis. There is a 1 2 3 4 5, all these kind of the things are numeric, and that numerics are not giving a very good information. We can't say by seeing the number, we can't say we can't predict anything about that given number. So to understand all these things, we have to mention a unit, 2 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter, 10 meter, all these kind of the things by which we get something related to them by seeing that unit on the right side of that number. We can have some information. We can some kind of give some kind of the predictions. If we talk about the 2 meter, it may be the length of the boys, it may be the length of the cloth, it may be length of the any desk. All these things are the information we can have with that given number. So the unit is the basically a reference to standard used, in which where these kind of the things are used. And there are the three common ways, that is the how these units are basically uh, generated. There are the three ways, that is one is CGS system. That CGS system is basically the C for centimeter, G for gram, and S for second. Centimeter, gram, and second system. Second one is a MKS units, MKS system, that is called a M for meter, K for kilogram, S for second. Meter, kilogram, second system. This is called a unit measurement system. And last, this one is known as a SI system, that is called a standard international units of standard, that is a SI system, which is applicable for worldwide. Now, the what I am discussing here, these things are not in your given syllabus, but to make your understanding proper understanding, so that you gets the good means relevant information, so that you can make a good understanding about the units. That's why I have given all these things in a larger in a extended way. These SI units are basically used in physics, that are used in express to the different quantity. Why these SI units are essential? Basically, it is used to express the different quantity so that others quantity can be expressed. These quantities can be classified. There is a one is called a base unit, and another one is a called derived unit. The basically the fundamental units are and are these are the fundamental unit. That base unit is a basically fundamental unit, like when we want to measure the mass of an object, it may be measured in a gram or kilograms, then it is a fundamental units. And by this, these considered as a building block because it provides other linkage to determine other things, and that is the other unit that is called a derived unit. And that the derived unit is basically based on the basic unit, that is the first part of the SI unit. Here, the SI unit of mass is a kilogram, and gram also is SI unit. And this the SI, the base is used in SI unit is 10 basis point. There are the 10 basis point which makes the conversion easier, by which these conversions are easy to convert from one form to another form. Now when we talk about the this SI unit system, it is this SI unit is basically Latin and Greek prefix, may be used in Latin form or may be used in Greek form. That these are the basically prefix. Prefix means the used initially before writing, that is the base. And this SI and these refer to the numbers. After that there is a numbers. Now the without the use of conversion factor, the SI unit can be derived from another one. And these are the only three things which you have to understand. That is the unit of length is meter, unit of mass is kilogram, and unit of time is a second. Other things which, you don't have to understand. These things are not required for you. The derived unit is basically units are unlimited as they are formed by different operation of the base unit. This derived unit is totally depends on the base unit, and on the you whenever these base units are used to make the different operation, and that provide the by which we can make a number of the unit, and that's why it is in form of unlimited. There are the unlimited derived unit which we have to understand. Now these derived units are basically might have expressed with the combination of base and derived unit. There are the sometimes there is a sometimes there will be the some base unit, and there is another derived unit, and these combined when together, base unit as well as derived unit when combined together, they form another new combinations. That's like here again, just see here, length is SI unit is meter, and it is measured in the symbol of meter is small m. And when we talk about the mass is basically represented by capital M, and the unit of SI unit of mass is kilogram, and it is represented, the unit is represented in SI unit in simple form is kg, and the time is basically capital T, time measured in SI unit in second, and it is represented by small s. This is the significant, other things is not required for you. When we talk about the standard unit are basically all the things should be standardized so that they are, everybody can understand. Everybody means what, here the sense is to all the scientists whenever they do any kind of the things, all the scientists recommend any kind of the understanding by which everybody can understand what is talking about. And these scientists gives a standard units of measurement. They provide the what is the standard unit of measurement, and that will be the accepted by the all the scientists worldwide. The SI unit, the full form of SI unit is basically International System of Unit. That is the very important. Sometimes these questions can be asked by you, and it is known as an International System of Unit. SI means International System of Unit. That means the standard form of that unit, and which is convention means if everybody is saying these things, that should be accepted by everybody. That's why it is a convention. And SI unit of length, like meter. When we talk about meter, meter is a SI unit of length. And what the scientist or the parameters made by the international system of unit, there are the 100 equal divisions are called the, and if that meter are divided into 100 equal divisions, then that meters are basically known as centimeters. Now, to measure a large distance, then the meter and centimeter is not work. At that time, we use kilometers, and that 1 kilometer is basically has a 1,000 divisions. 1,000 here, like if 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, we can call as a, like that. 1 kilometer is equal to the 1,000 meters. Now this slide is talking about the how the measurement can be correct. How whenever we use the measurement, that measurement should be correct, and how it is possible. And so the measurement is basically the zero error, means there should be no error, and correct way to measure the length. We have to always correct way to measure the length. Though whenever we are having a kind of the work where the measures are required, at that times we are not very attentively doing our job. But if we are talking about on the prospects of the scientist, and um, they do the correct measurement. Otherwise all the significance of that particle cannot be measured. That's why measurement on the play a very very crucial roles to understand any kind of the nature of the particle, nature of the particles. So it should be measured in a correct way. There should that means there should be no error. Now the scale, now how this can be done. The scale which used to measure must be in contact with the object. Which object we want to measure, that object should be contact with the scale. Now scale, there should be some precautions also required before starting the measure the things. Then we check whether our scale are correct or not. If it is broken, then that broken scale should not be used. Or if there is any invisibility in 0 marks, that scale is also not for good for the measurement, and it can lead to the zero error. If that are there, then there these by this we measure the things with zero error. and the measuring from a different mark must be carried out. There are the some marks should be put on the object so that dark mark should be put on the object, so can we can whenever we remove the scale from a contact of object, we can draw a line, proper line. The correct reading will be obtained by subtracting. uh, if you want to make a correct reading, then the whole the things, whole the scales number are divided from the measure point, and whatever the correct value will come, that is called as the measurement of that object. While measuring, there is a one another situation which is given here, is talking about how we put our eyes so that there should be no the error comes, that must be exactly above the point. It should, our eyes must be exactly above the point. It did not like that you put anywhere the eye, and if we put anywhere the eye other than the object, what happened, there is a chances of coming a error, and that kind of the errors which comes with that procedure, that is called the parallax error. This is basically a parallax error. Now, this parallax error is basically the displacement or the changes in the apparent position, changes in the apparent position. That means if the we are not putting our eye on the point of the object, what happened? There will be some position will change. If slightly change from the main position, there will be the some another positions we get, that is called the apparent position of that object. And when these apparent position are viewed from two different point, if uh, these positions viewed, these objects are viewed from two different positions, and that provides the error, and that error is basically a parallax error. uh, just see here, this is the first position, and this one is the second position. If and the proper position is this, where we have to put our eyes. But if we put our eyes one position or two position, there is a the gaps are shown, and these gaps are basically a parallax error. You can see from here, there is a one eye we are putting here, and another view which is taking from this point. With that point, there is a some errors occur. That is what the parallax error is it. Now here parallax error is 1, parallax error is 2, and there is a no error. That means it is a proper position where this eye is kept on a object. But if we use this position or this position, then there will be some errors also come. That's why the keep whenever we want to measure any kind of the object, the eye should be at a point of a object. Now how the we measure the curved line, if you want to measure a curved line, and the curved line cannot be measured with the help of the meter scale. This curved line mm, cannot be measured with the help of a meter scale. What we have to do, we have to take a string or thread, and by and after that we uh, make a note at one end, and keeping that at the beginning. That means whatever the whichever the curve line wants to measure, that curve lines measure with the help of a thread or a string, and with that string, what we do, we measure at knot starting from knot, at and keeping that at the beginning, and once can trace the curve line and hold the line by this way, the we hold the when the trace the whole the curve line. Now the that thread by which we have measured that curve line, we stretched out and measured with the help of now that stretched thread are measured with the help of meter scale. Now this find the by this the length of the curve line can be find. Here I have already shown in this picture. Now there are the some conventional ways on that in the previous slide I already told. There are the different ways to measure an ancient time, like we use a hand span, we use a arm hair length, that is and we use the that is called the cubit, and then there is a called a food span. These are the some uh, measurement techniques which we were using previously to measure the length. This you can show here. If you want to measure the length of that table, you can measure here like this, and use the hand span by this. Since these methods are basically, you can just talk about number of hand span, number of foot, but we cannot actually give the what is the correct information about the length of the given object. So these methods are used previously. Now these after the availability of all these tools to measure, now we are using the scale, digital scale. All by this we can use the length kilometer only. Now the this is another how the correct, what are the correct way to measure the things which are I already talked about these. This is the correct position, and if we put I here or here, what happen, there is a errors comes. That errors is basically parallax error. Now this when we use a compass, then there is a by this use of compass we can also measure the things. But here this figure basically talk about the scale. When there is a broken scale, or there is a half of the scale, then these scales if we used to measure the things, that will not going to give a proper measurement. It is all about your measurement part. I think I have given different views about the measurement and units, and what you have to understand in this: what is measurement, what is the difference between measurement and units, and what is the correct way of the measuring the things, what is the parallax error, and what are the different tools used to measure the things in ancient time. These things I already told, and the whatever the important things I have discussed here. Now we are going to talk about the motion. Now if you are talking about motion, why the motions are required for any kind of the object, for any kind of the living being? Because to transport the things from one place to another place, the motions are required. Since why the transport? transportation is required, because all the things which is available, all the resources which is required for living being are not available at a particular same place. So to exchange that resources, to take that resources, to find the resources, to understand, to search their resources, we have to move from one place to another place. Like if you are if I give you one example, like this time there is a lockdown periods are going on, and within that lockdown period, if all the things is not or everything is not available at our homes, what happened there, if everything is not available at our home, what happened, we cannot survive our life properly. So to searching that kind of the things, we have to move from one place to another place. We have to communicate from one person to another person, so that the things can be changed. And for the survival of overall, if for the survival of life, there will be the some motions are required, and that's why we move from one place to another place. Now, in simple way, if we talk about the body, if anything's on the particular position, and if that position is not getting changed for a longer period of time, that means it is in a rest position. Now, if we compare from that position, when the object is like from you are at your home, and if we you move from your home right now, with respect to your home, you are at a rest position. But if you wants to make want to take something, then you have to leave from your home. And if you are going from your home, from to take any kind of the object, any kind of the things, that means your position is changing with respect to your home. And that change is basically provide the information whether the object is motion or does not do not in a motions. That's why we are going to talk about motion. A body is in a state of rest. As already told, you are right now in lockdown, you are at rest with respect to your house, since your house is not movable. That's why you are at a rest position. Now if you want to if your position is changed with respect to your house, then the you will call as a you are in a motion. When it does not change its position, then with respect to time also, since time is changing, but with respect to time, if position is not changing, at that time this is called a rest. But if position is changed with respect to time, then it is called a object is a in a motion. Now, this is talking about the ancient time. There is some history backgrounders are given here, by which you can understand why the motion is required. Means of transport to transfers from one place to another place, and for that they use different kind of the things, like boats, and the shape of that boats are basically animals living in water. And why these boats are made on the these shapes of the boats are made on the basis of that animals who lives in water, because they minimize their pressure, water pressure on their body. That's why the boat should make in such a shape that they it minimize the pressures, yeah, or the flow of water on the boats. And when the when these cart means bell, and the an animals driven mode of the transport, these things are used. During beginning of the 19th century, when the steam engine was discovered, then the automobiles and motorized vehicles are made. And this is the again the pictures are shown in this slide. All these pictures are related to the transportation, mode of transportation. There are the different requirement, and there are the different uh, changes. uh, there are the economic, there are the requirement of the money to travel from these kind of the vehicles, and there is some kind of the personalized mode. If that things personalized modes are required, then that much of money you have in your pocket. And all these things are basically talking about the motion of the object. Now these are the things which we use generally in our daily life nowadays, and these are the things which basically used previously to for the conveyance purpose. There are the so many different changes occurs. Now when we talk about the motion, as a different kind of the motions are take place, like there is some periodic motion, there is a rectilinear motion, there is a curvilinear motion, there is a translatory motion, there is a circulatory motion, there is a oscillatory motion. All these motions are we have to understand. Now here in the syllabus, class 6 syllabus, only the three motions which we are going to discuss. There are the some kind of the random motions, and the random motion like a butterfly randomly move from here and there. And this kind of motion is basically random motions, which we can understand through the motion of butterfly. When we talk about the translation motion is basically when the particles of a moving body describe identical trajectory. Identical means if these particles are moving in a particular path, that is called the translation motion. When like a march of the these what we call as a military men's. These are the translatory motions. And when we talk about the rotational motion in which here you can see there is a fan which is and this span is basically rotating from a fixed point. And that kind of the rotation, when the rotation take place at a fixed point, that kind of the rotation is called the rotational motions. And when we talk about the oscillatory motion, there is a oscillatory motion is basically a take place from a mean position. If there is a two means there is a one position that is called the mean position, like this motion. This is a mean position. If that wall gives go to this position, that this position, what happened, this position is called 2. And if that needle is from this position, then it is called fro. And it is a mean position. This position is basically a mean position. Then what happened here, from mean position, if the object is going upward and down, and one side to and a left to right, then it is called the oscillatory motion. Here you can see again the translatory translation motion. A car is moving from one path, that is the rectilinear motion. A car is moving on this path, that is the curvilinear motion. A car is moving on a particular circular path, then it is called a circular motion. This kind of the things happen in translation motion. Uh, you can see here again here the same things which I have written here. You can go through all these things. That is the rectilinear motion I explain, circulatory motion I also explain. Example is revolving the earth around, and the to and fro, that is the periodic motion or oscillatory motion. That is another example is given here, that is called a pendulum. And the motion of pendulum or race car, that is a periodic motion. Here same thing I have written here in different format. You can observe here, this is a circular motion, because this motion is a, this you can call a circular motion, because it moves this, and needle is moving from this position to this position from a fixed point. This is called a periodic motion. Now this portion we discuss in tomorrow in next class. And today all the how the correct measurements are done, what is the parallax error, and different types of motion, and also the make the diagram of hand span, the uh, hand span, cubit, and the foot figure in your copy. Also the how the correct measurements are done. There is a another things which is given in your book also, that is called the gilli danda. We use to measure the length. That is also you have to understand. And this is all about the motion. Now how the main times or measure, we will talk in next class. Till the time, you just save your life, do all the work, and complete the task. Thank you for today's session.